Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Office Hours Politics Edition. I'm your host, Sienna Ali, and today we're going to be talking about proxy wars. You've probably heard that word thrown around a lot, and today we're going to be breaking down what proxy wars are, the theory behind them, and why they're happening more often, as well as why they're so politically convenient for powerful states. This is Proxy Wars Explained without the BS. So, what is a proxy war? At its simplest definition, a proxy war is when two powerful states fight each other indirectly by backing different sides in a conflict. Instead of fighting each other directly, they use a third party as the battlefield. Instead of country A versus country B, it becomes country A funds trades and arms group X, and country B funds trades and arms group Y. Then group X and Y fight. The superpowers technically stay out of the war, but they are absolutely in it. The Cold War is a classic example. The United States and the Soviet Union never directly fought each other because nuclear war would have meant annihilation. Instead, they fought through Korea, Vietnam, Afghanistan, Angola, and Latin America. And millions of people in those countries paid the price. That's the key feature of a proxy war. The people who suffer the destruction are not the ones making the geopolitical decisions. Now let's layer theory on this. From a realist perspective, states seek power and survive in an archaic international system. No world government, no ultimate referee, just power. Proxy wars make strategic sense under realism because they allow states to weaken rivals, they avoid direct escalation, they minimize domestic political costs, and they reduce the risk of nuclear confrontation. It's cost-effective power projection. You outsource the bloodshed. But realism doesn't go far enough. If we bring in Lenin's theory of imperialism, proxy wars look different. In imperialism, the highest state of capitalism, Lenin argues that powerful capitalist states expand influence not just for security, but for markets, resources, and geopolitical control. Under this lens, proxy wars are not just security dilemmas. They're tools of imperial management. Instead of colonizing directly, powerful states fund armed groups, destabilize regions, shape governments, control trade routes, and influence energy supply. The war becomes a method of structuring the global economy. This is where proxy wars connect to oil, armed industries, reconstruction contracts, and sanction regimes. They're not accidental. They're strategic. If we bring in Hannah Arendt, something else becomes clear. Proxy wars allow violence to become administrative. Drone strikes, funding channels, intelligence briefings, defense contracts. Violence becomes paperwork. No one feels responsible. The public doesn't see coffins. There's no draft. There's no declaration of war, just aid packages. Proxy wars thrive in this administrative invisibility. Now let's talk contemporary examples. Russia invades Ukraine. The United States and NATO sent billions in weapons and aid. Is Ukraine a proxy war? From Russia's perspective, absolutely. From the West perspective, it's defensive support for sovereignty. But strategically, the U.S. weakens Russia without deploying American troops. Russia tests NATO's boundaries without directly attacking it. Ukraine then becomes a battlefield for broader competition. Now, there are 3 reasons why proxy wars are increasing. Number 1 is nuclear deterrence. Direct wars between major powers is too risky. Proxy wars become the safer alternative. Domestic politics. Citizens in powerful countries do not tolerate body bags anymore. Proxy wars reduce visible casualties. Lastly, economic incentives. The global arms trade benefits enormously. Weapon manufacturers profit. Defense budgets expand. Political leadership avoids full mobilization. It's geopolitics without accountability. Now, here's the uncomfortable part. Proxy wars create moral distance. Citizens in powerful states can say, we're just supporting democracy. We're just sending aid. We're not directly involved. But weapons don't operate themselves. Money shapes outcomes. Intelligence directs violence. The ethical question becomes, is indirect violence morally cleaner than direct violence? Or is it simply more politically convenient? This is where I want you to think critically, because proxy wars depend on our emotional attachment. They depend on war not feeling like ours. Now, are proxy wars avoidable? Some scholars argue that proxy wars are inevitable. Others argue that they're symptoms of global inequality. Some argue they prevent larger wars. But here's the thing. Preventing global war by exporting localized destruction isn't peace. It's strategic containment. And often it entrenches instability for decades. Afghanistan, Syria, Libya. Once a region becomes a chessboard, it's very hard for it to become stable again. So proxy wars are not accidents, they're not misunderstandings, they're not random. They're strategic. They allow powerful states to compete without direct confrontation. They minimize risk for elites, they maximize risk for ordinary people. And they thrive in complexity, because when something feels complicated, people stop asking questions. So here's the question I want you to sit with. When your country sends aid to a war zone, what are they actually buying? Influence, security, or someone else's blood? Let me know what you think. Are proxy wars inevitable? Are they necessary? Or are they just imperialism with better PR? Thank you guys so much for listening. Until next week, stay curious, stay politically aware, and stay critical. Bye, guys.